In the very last line or two of the Lord's Prayer, Jesus mentions we should ask the Father to lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. And think about that. One of the very last things he leaves us with is this prayer is not only a plea for protection against temptation, but a reminder that we have a very present enemy in this life. 1 Peter 5:8 tells us that this enemy prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. And while we have a God who has purchased our salvation by the blood of his Son, at the same time we have an enemy who will do everything in his power to lead you back into the bondage of sin and keep you there. And if you're anything like me, the opportunities to flirt with temptation are endless. Instead of honoring someone and having a hard conversation, I can revert back to gossiping about them and getting others on my side. Instead of being honest about a mistake that I made or being accountable for something I've done, I'll try to tell enough white lies that it kind of smooths the situation and doesn't make it seem as bad. Or most of the time, if I'm being totally honest, I can become too easily caught up and distracted in the pursuits of this world and completely neglect my relationship with the Lord. And guys, trust me, those are just the things that I'm willing to share on a video. Point being, there are many things in this world that can lead us into temptation and then on into sin. But there is good news, and it's great news, actually. And it comes in Hebrews chapter 4. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who in every respect has been tempted as we are, yet without sin. Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace in our time of need. So friends, each day of our lives, we're going to face the temptation to sin. And no matter how long you live, no matter how long you've been following Christ, those moments are going to happen. We may not be able to fully get away from those. And yet, in those moments, Scripture reminds us that we aren't alone. Jesus has walked in our shoes on this very planet, and he understands. Not only that, but he's telling us to ask for his help in those moments. He wants us to ask. So when you're facing temptation and sin is knocking at the door, just pause. Just pause. And ask him, Lord, lead me not into temptation and deliver me from the evil one. And guys, we can find confidence that in that exact moment, the Lord will give us everything we need to overcome temptation and be more like him.